When we are talking about a note of a protest or a letter of protest, as a representative of the ship owner. Now, after you get your base license, you'll be promoted to mate. You're immediately coming into the senior management of the ship. Owner's interest is supreme. So, by putting a note of protest or letter of protest on the ship, we are protecting the ship owner's interest from any kind of damage claim that may come from. Like, for instance, we had done it when we were differentiating between Hague-Visby rule. There is a time frame of 1 year, and under Hague-Visby more than that also, that if the damage is revealed to the cargo owner, the receiver of cargo, he can make a claim. Obviously, the ship owner, correct, he's got a liability for the safe carriage of cargo, but he has a right to defend himself also. कि भाई ये जो damage हुआ, I mean, it was beyond my control. I couldn't have helped it. On what basis his PRI club lawyers will be able to support his defense? That's where things like note of protest and letter of protest come into play. So we will first take note of protest and then letter of protest and appreciate the difference in a tabular form, which I've sent to you exactly the table which I'll show you here. For damage that may have been caused but it is not visible at present, if it becomes visible in future, which may result in a claim, ship owner is standing by with his protection on the basis of this. So, note of protest covers circumstances beyond the master's control, which may cause or have caused loss or damage to ship or cargo. You may say, sir, abhi to aapne khali cargo ki baat ki. Okay, where does the ship come? Ship has got hull and machinery insurance coverage. आज की तारीख where that damage is not visible, which may have been caused due to very heavy weather, but some part of the hull below the water level has got dented, which will become visible when the ship goes for dry dock. It has not made the ship unseaworthy. The ship owner will say, yeah, मैंने तो इतना प्रीमियम दिया है लाखों डॉलर का, I'll have this part straightened out by cropping and renewing. I'll make a damage claim. तो हर मशीनरी इंश्योरेंस है कि भाई ये आया कहां से? Was it caused because of your negligence or something? If you have not purchased the inch-mari clause, or this is not part of the inch-mari clause. Hang on, hang on. There's a possibility that this could have occurred due to that heavy weather, and I have proof because my master had submitted a note of protest. Okay, now we are happy. We will undertake that. Its purpose, therefore, is to protect the ship owner from liability for damage to cargo or ship where this was caused by the perils of the sea. Perils of the sea, as we have done in insurance, mainly it is natural causes, but also man-made causes like piracy, beyond my control. It substantiates, it supports my claim for damage to the ship, defending your claim for damage to the cargo. So therefore, we do not know what was the 100% specific cause which could have caused the damage to cargo or the hull. The most common thing is when the ship has encountered over a long period of time very heavy weather. No lashings are broken or anything, but there is a possibility. You cannot deny it. Now, I do not know who's going to make a claim. Cargo owner, yes, for insurance purposes. But when we did, what do you call commercial law, there is a shipper, there is a receiver of cargo. Receiver of cargo may make a direct claim. Yeah, receiver of cargo may claim from the shipper in the loading clause. Shipper will come to the ship owner. We do not know. So it is addressed to whomsoever it may concern. Number two, it is a legal document. To make it legal document, which is kept in files for any future claims. What is the time limit? 3 years tak agar from the date of making the note of protest, nothing has come, then you can burn it. You being the ship owner. So therefore, to make it a legal document, it is always made under oath. You would have heard in court, notary public, who put that red sticker, put the stamp, sign, etc., and charge the fee. And any statement which is made under oath in a court of law or a servant of the court of law, like the notary, which is appointed by the judge, well, a witness from the ship is required. So therefore, master, he files the note of protest. Coming to practically, what will be the language? You don't have to bother about it. The agent will help the master in that, because most of the port countries, they have their own format. Format means own text, not necessarily in Spanish or Chinese, English, but one country's note of protest text can differ from another one, and who's the best person to help you? कि भाई यहाँ पे क्या लागू हो रहा है, the agent will get the format. Otherwise, where else you will file it? You will find it on the one of the blank things on the ship in the ship's file. But that is just as a guidance focus. If the agent says, Captain, any form or format or text will file, take it out from the ship, fill it up. The language is there. I am making a protest that we encountered this heavy weather, etc. And this is to protect the ship owner's right against claim for damages, that there's a possibility that this damage to cargo or the hull could have taken place because of reasons beyond the ship owner's control, and I am representing the ship owner, I, the master. Okay, if you're talking about heavy weather, it is just your word against X, Y, Z. I don't even know you. I, the notary, don't know you. Okay, I will support it with the documents. What all are the documents that will be required? Your deck logbook pages. A number of times you have seen where your weather is very bad, the captain tells you that record the weather every 2 hours. Join the dot. He's planning to find a lot of protest, but it's justified. Engine logbook pages. You'll say, sir, engine and weather. You would have done it in EK. The pitch becomes very, very high when the propeller, where the ship is pitching very heavily. The deck logbook entry of the weather, of what we write, weather, shipping, seas, sprays, this is all the reason it supports the ship owner's defense that I am not telling a lie. There's proper official legal logbook entry copies, which is also supported, further supported by engine logbook that day, that what copy that the propeller was coming out of the water because the ship was pitching very heavily. And every heavy weather, you are supposed to make an entry. If it is not just 3-4 hours kind of a thing, 12-day void, 10 days you are just tossing over, you make a logbook entry, official logbook entry. And you'll also be making an official logbook entry that on so and so date and so port, with so and so witness from the ship, a note of protest was lodged with the notary, etc., etc. Weather reports, weather faxes, VDR recording, most important. Any other photo evidence, we have cameras on board, and if you are seeing some visible damage to the deck cargo, yeah, take a photograph. I'm not the one taking a hammer and breaking the damn thing. It is because of the weather. Okay, then what was the weather? How do you prove it? Logbook entries. Documentary evidence is 100% required. So when you tell the agent, I have to side, I have to lodge a note of protest, always it is, it has to be done within 24 hours arrival in that port. After a long voyage, you have come to Bombay. Next day, you are sailing to Mangalore. Chalo, I'll file a note of protest in Mangalore. It will be as good as a toilet paper. After a long sea passage, if a note of protest is being planned to be filed by the master, it has to be done at the first port of call and within 24 hours. That is, if the ship is staying for a longer period of time, it has to be done. It is always addressed to whomsoever it may concern. It is a legal document taken under oath in front of the notary. It is filed by the master and a witness is supposed to accompany the master. Normally, he'll take the off-duty officer, whether the third officer or second officer. If we are talking about weather, so obviously they are the best witnesses. So they'll also have to sign with the supporting documents. How many copies are to be made? 3 original notes of protest. 1 original stays on board the ship. Notary doesn't require it. He'll take a photocopy and keep it with it. He doesn't require the original. He has made a note in the register on the computer that this is the detail, this is the number, etc., whatever. 1 original is kept on the ship. 2 sets of original notes of protest. Agent, you hand it over, or if you are making the bundle of mail document report to the company, 2 original set goes there. Why 2? Because 1 original has to remain with the ship owner and the other original will be used in case the matter goes to court for a claim. It has to be given to the court in that country. That is the logic behind it. Now coming to the point, what is the meaning of master must reserve the right to extend the protest? Suppose the ship comes to Bombay. I have experienced very heavy weather, no damage is visible. I have filed a note of protest. Next port of call is Chennai after 4 days. Now, when the cargo is being discharged in Chennai, there an actual damage becomes visible. So how you will say, how anyone will say, कि at Bombay there was no damage visible, but a protest was submitted. What do we have to do now? The damage is actually been visible. Do we file another note of protest? No. Master must reserve the right to extend protest. So it is actually written in inverted commas. I, the master, captain so-and-so of vessel MV so-and-so, reserve my right to extend the present protest. So, and we have the original. If Chennai, that cargo gets, the damaged cargo becomes visible, along with the agent at Chennai, that original copy will be taken. Now I'm producing actual evidence of damage, that this is in continuation of this protest, that this damage has resulted for circumstances beyond my control. Are you with me?
Yes, sir. So one question.
Please.
So when you are giving this note of protest, you have already seen the weather was rough. There is a possibility cargo might have got damaged. So we are not doing until anything till we reach the first port where we are going to discharge. And now, if we have to first then inform the notary to come on board.
No. Go ahead with the question. Notary doesn't come on board. I'll tell you the procedure practically. Tell me your question.
Yeah, so when he comes on board, and now suppose let us say we filed an note of protest. So for the time being that we are not discharging the cargo, we are filing the protest. They come, they check, they open hatches, find the damage, and we say yes, we are extending this. So there is a delay occurring, no? So now who's going to pay for this? Because this is going to go add in the demurrage, no? We are getting time is getting
First
added.
of all, that situation is non-existent because notary doesn't come to the ship. It is the master with the witness from the ship, let's say third officer, second officer, along with the agent and agent's car, he goes to the court or the notary public's office, not the other way around. And notary putting his signature and stamp and the sticker, he is in good faith believing that there is 100% the ship encountered heavy weather. He will go through in detail the documentary evidence, copies of the deck logbook, engine logbook, official logbook, VDR recording, weather reports, any photographic evidence. Okay. Now, let's go in a logical sequence. Step 1, heavy weather. Experience. Step 2, possibility. Focus on the word possibility. Possibility of a cargo damage or hull damage. There may be damage, there may be damage. I do not know anything. I, the master, do not know anything. Step 3, if there is a damage caused to the hull or the cargo resulting in a claim, I am protecting myself meaning the ship owner, that this damage which was earlier only a possibility, we did not know about it, now the damage has become real. Now that note of protest which was filed there, it will come in front of the damage claim. Okay, agreed, the damage has happened, but it has happened. Nobody could control that damage. So nobody will pay for the claim. That is the logical sequence. There is every possibility. I said, there may be damage, there may not be damage. If there is no damage, that note of protest is a toilet paper. It is meaningless. But if there is a damage, there is a claim, then it becomes a golden document. It will save the ship owner. It is a proactive action on behalf of the ship owner I'm taking to protect ship owner's liability from any unnecessary claims. We are not saying the damage claim is justified and not justified because damage has not happened. I'm not denying it. But the damage took place for reasons which was beyond the control, and it could not be ascertained or calculated कि whether actual damage has taken place. We have just protected ourselves कि अगर इस particular voyage में कोई damage हुआ है तो वो इसी कारण से हो सकता था, that was bad weather, and we have proved it and made it a legal application to that.
Understood, sir. But sir, somebody has to bear the cost of that, no? Because
cost of what? Cost of what?
The cargo got damaged, the ship is getting delayed in discharging cargo till the time you do all this.
No. Cargo work is going on. Mate is looking after the cargo work. After all the paperwork formality, 24 hours ka time hota hai. After everything, even the master tells the agent, Mr. Agent, I have to lodge a note of protest. My documentation is ready. Get me the format of the text. Yeah, Captain, I'll be back in 2 hours' time. He will get the format, fill it up, call the off-duty officer. In the car you go, the ship operation cargo work is going on. You're not stopping the cargo. It is just a half-an-hour job. The agent has taken appointment with the notary. Office mein jata hai, he'll say, maybe offer a cup of coffee. He will see the note of protest, the single page, to whomsoever it may concern. Captain, what are the supporting documents for this? Because note of protest is always against bad weather. For anything beyond my control. So, okay, these are the documents, fine. There are 3 original sets, yes. Tak. Okay, thank you very much. The fees for the notary is paid by the ship owner. That the agent pays for it. Captain says, Mr. Agent, you keep the 2 sets of original. When I'm giving you the mail packet for the company, you put this and then mail and then courier it. Okay, fine. 1 original copy I'm taking on board. Matter ends. Ship is happening. It's less like you can say, Captain is going on shore leave or Captain is going for NOP. Nothing happens to the ship. The ship operations don't get stopped. Now your question, who will pay for the cargo damage? That the cargo owner is aware of it. Okay, there are areas where shipowner has a liability for the safe carriage or damage, but not for the damage which has happened beyond his control. Remember, common carrier. Strict liability was देनी थी, but with the Hague-Wisby rule changed. This is how you join the dots.
Understood. So one more thing related to the Hague-Wisby. We said no, under the Hague-Wisby, the time for making a claim is post 1 year also after the delivery. Correct. If both the parties agree to it. But why will a ship owner ever agree to go beyond that? It is against him. No, he will. Yeah.
You are absolutely right. Ship owner will say कि भैया 1 साल बहुत है, ठीक है, हम लोग को ऑप्शन दिया हुआ है, पर I am going to, ये सब चीजें कब होती हैं डिसाइड बेटा? This is what is the importance of contract of carriage, which is not BL, it is the evidence, contract of carriage. Okay, Mr. Ship owner, are you agreeing that the claim for damage, if it occurs, is going to, I mean, it can happen post 1 year also? If he says no, the cargo owner may, the shipper of cargo may not sign the contract of carriage. I'll go to another ship owner. Negotiation. Okay, if you want me to agree, I'll increase your freight by 5%. Negotiation goes on. You are absolutely right. But it will be mentioned in the contract of carriage, which we never see.
Understood, sir.
Common question about NOP and the importance of extending protest, how it is extended. You memorize this line in inverted comma. Reserve the right to extend the protest at a time and place convenient. As far as within the first 24 hours of the arrival of the first port, it has been filed. Instead of Chennai, it can be extended even in Calcutta. Place convenient is accepted by the law of note of protest. Evidence required and witness is a must. Now, these are the circumstances. Letter of protest is totally different ball game. Number one, there is no time limit, 24 hours में होना है, etc. Basically, letter of protest is a complaint by the ship. Focus. Complaint by the ship against a particular entity who's visible. It could be a person, it could be the port, it could be the stevedores, it could be a crane operator, it could be the pilot, X, Y, Z. It is a complaint, it is an objection. Now the question comes, when do you make an objection? You make an objection, sir, the class was for 60 minutes, I am objecting you left the class for at 50 minutes. Your objection, you are complaining. The basis of complaint mean the complaint is against me. That means I had control over the event. What was my control? That I continued the lecture till 60 minutes were over. I had the control. Nobody put a gun on my head. Damn it, you have to stop the lecture at 50 minutes, thereby leaving me with no control. So the whole idea of making a complaint, raising an objection, it has to be very specific against that person, where that person had a control on the event which he did not do. I am making a complaint. That complaint is called a letter of protest. Note of protest. The whole basis was that nobody had control on the event which resulted in the damage. Have you understood this basic difference?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, जब हमको ये नोट ऑफ प्रोटेस्ट पे वो circumstances पे कंट्रोल नहीं थे, which uncontrollable circumstances could have created a damage, I do not know. Party A will make a claim, party B, party C. So therefore, it is addressed to whomsoever it may concern. अगर तुमको damage हुआ है, तो it is applicable to you. It is if अगर तुम्हारा damage हुआ है C का, तो it is applicable to you, to whomsoever it may concern. But letter of protest is a complaint against an act over a person who had the control. So therefore, letter of protest is addressed to the specific party, to so and so. You are not doing the job properly for which my ship is suffering. I am making a letter of protest. I am making a complaint against you. Letter of protest. What is the objective? ठीक है, complaint कर लिया उसने, ठीक है, फाड़ दिया बाहर. नहीं. If that person who had the control on the event against whom the letter of protest has been filed, if his lack of control results in some kind of a damage claim on the ship owner, damn it, don't ask me for damage, ask that person, because the start point was that person's not exercising the control so that the complaint doesn't arise from the ship. That's where the letter of protest comes. It has to be addressed to the specific party. I'll give examples. And since it is addressed to the specific party, that party has to acknowledge receipt. But suppose you have put a letter of protest against Captain Sergeant etc. Applied Research International. तो आप मुझे दे, हाँ ठीक है मैंने पढ़ लिया. तो then what is the point of that written document? Yeah, it is as good as a toilet paper. It has some value. I received that copy, and on your copy I said received, put by side date. Then you say कि हाँ भाई इसके खिलाफ कंप्लेंट किया था. He was aware of it. He has put a signature. He has received it. अगर मैं साइन ना करूं, it is your word against mine. हाँ भैया आपने कंप्लेंट तो की थी, मैं तो कह रहा हूं आपने कंप्लेन ही की, आप मुझे आज क्यों मेरा गला दबोच रहे हो? So it is whenever it is addressed to a specific party, the letter of protest being received by that party becomes of paramount importance, and the receipt is confirmed by that party acknowledging by putting the signature and on your copy, and he will take the other copy of it. Again, the question comes, what about the text? Letter of protest is very local, so you have to call the agent. I have to file a letter of protest. Just get me the format of the text. He will immediately come. Are you with me till here?
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a question, sir. So what we have seen on board is sometimes when we are on the terminal and they're supposed to sign the LOP, we address it to them. They don't accept it. They don't sign it. Then we just write refuse to sign. So now is it holding any legal importance?
No, that is wrong. You see point number 3. When the person refuses to sign, do not even waste a single minute or single part of your valuable energy to try to, अरे क्यों नहीं कर रहे, what, okay, not received, I'm making another LOP. The procedure is another letter of protest is made, again addressed to so and so party, with reference to letter of protest, because everything will have a serial number. Let's say letter of protest number 1 dated so and so at port so and so, addressed to Mr. so and so. The same person refused to acknowledge and receive the letter of protest addressed to him by putting a signature. That's it, and the master signed it. That is the procedure. If the person refuses to acknowledge it, no problem, I'll make another. Just tell him on his face, no problem, I'll make another letter of protest that you are not acknowledging it. Your job is done. Letter of protest is not to be notarized. Only thing is required, जिसके नाम पे है उसका साइन, नाम एंड डेट. भाई हर एक हम लोग का अपना पर्सनल स्टैम्प थोड़ा ना होता है, so there is no necessary for a stamp. But make sure ये नहीं कि उसने साइन कर दिया, I'm not putting my name. अरे मुझे क्या पता ये तुम्हारा साइन है यार. If you're signing, you have to put your name and the date and the time. So you will make 2 originals, take it to that person. I'm just coming to the circumstances, whom it be. Okay, fine, I'm accepting it. Sir, this is the ship's copy. Can you please acknowledge the receipt? He will sign, name, date, come back, matter ends. You don't have to do it. The whole objective again is protecting the ship owner's interest. Number one, usme tha 24 hours. When should a letter of protest should be made? As soon as the event has occurred against which the ship is complaining about. As soon as that. And if the, let's say, master is not there, damn it, you as a mate can also make a letter of protest. Call the agent, tell you have the phone. I have to make a letter of protest. Captain is not there. This is a serious thing. Captain will give you a pat on the back. The company will give you a pat on the back that, yes, this guy is ready for command. But that you cannot do with a note of protest. There, the master's signature and his presence in front of the notary is required along with the witness. Because this is just a complaint. What are the circumstances? Free pratik has been granted, ready for cargo. 3 hours elapsed, the cargo work has not started. With my gangini aayi hai. When the cargo work has got delayed, if it is on a charter, it will result in a demerit. So charterer kahega, the ship owner will claim for a demerit. Charterer kahega, bhai, isme meri kya galti? Kehta hai ki you should have handled it. My master has put a letter of protest against the port without any information. The delay of cargo by 3 hours resulting in demurrage, etc. Tomorrow, how you will protect the ship owner? Because the gangs have not come for 3 hours, the cargo operation has got delayed by 3 hours. Your port stay will be extended by 3 hours. Port will ask the ship owner, what nonsense? I am not here because of my mistake. It is because of your mistake. So how do you prove it? My master has put a letter of protest. I am not going to pay a single paisa for that 3 hours. The port will be sucking the thumb. Another letter of protest. You come along the ship side, you see not a single fender. The whole blessed jetty side is pure concrete. It is damaged the ship. If it, I'm not saying there will be a hull damage, a kind of a dent, but there is a possibility. Yeah? Immediately put a letter of protest. Master should. That because of absence of fender, there's a possibility of a hull getting damaged, etc. Please acknowledge it. So that tomorrow when the ship owner goes to the hull and machinery, what were you doing? I can't put the fender on the jetty. That is the responsibility of the port, and my master made a letter of protest. Hull and machinery insurer will 100% pay for it. Another example. Agent gives you the port clearance and tells the captain the pilot will be on board at 2000 hours. Have a wonderful voyage. The ship is ready for, say, 2200 hours. Pilot is not there. And if the port tomorrow makes a claim to the ship owner for 2 hours of port charges, is it justified? Immediately file a letter of protest to the port. Call the agent again. Come here. Have you seen that if the pilot boarding time gets delayed in the jetty by 20-30 minutes, master tells the duty officer, call the port on the VHF. We are waiting. Why the pilot has not come? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So, master is calculating if I'm waiting for another 30 minutes, any one single minute beyond 30 minutes, I'm filing a letter of protest, I'll call the agent. But by then, port तक पहुंच जाता है कि तेल का मच रहा है, जल्दी से पहुंचो. Protecting the ship owner from any kind of complaint, delayed due to waiting for customs and immigration. For example, जैसे when we were doing that cargo work cannot start without the granting of free pratik. बैठे हुए यार, gang is ready, everything is ready, 3 घंटे हो गए, port health वाले नहीं आए, immediately file. In this case, it will be not to the port, the port health, port of Antwerp, and they jolly well acknowledge it. Waiting for pilot, tugs, waiting for orders to start loading, discharging, another thing. Without the format telling the mate, your agreed cargo loading on a bulk carrier was 5,000 tons per hour. It is coming at 3,000. Why? Letter of protest. any damn thing. You have a complaint against that specific party, a person, a team, port, XYZ, who had the control over that event. The foreman has the control to ensure that it is being loaded at 5,000 tons per hour. He had the control. If it is not being loaded, he has not informed you, discussed with you, you have a right to complain against him. That complaint is called the letter of protest. Have you followed the concept of letter of protest?
Yes, sir.
So, vessel overloaded, short loaded, difference between bill of lading and ship's figure, slow loading at the request of terminal, anything that you are not happy with, letter of protest. Now let's come to the difference. Note of protest, this is the table. If there is whether exit exam or MMD, I just draw the table, you are getting full mark. Made in the cases where nobody has any control over the subject matter being complained about. Subject matter being complained, possibility of a damage as a result of heavy weather. Nobody has control over the subject matter is heavy weather. I'm complaining against the heavy weather which I had no control over. Letter of protest always made in cases where the recipient has some control over the subject matter being complained about. Number two, addressed as to whomsoever it may concern, always addressed to a named party or person. Note of protest, supporting documents are required while making NOP, LOP. Supporting documents are not required. Kya supporting documents? NOP, signature of witness. I have written may some countries' law do not require, may be required while making NOP, but 95% I know witnesses. Signature of witness not required while making NOP. It has to be attended by a person legally empowered to do so. Notary public, whose job agent will arrange for that, according to the law of the country in which the protest is being made. Attestation by a legally empowered person not required. It's a complaint, yeah, written complaint. So therefore, law comes, it is a sworn statement made under oath. It is not a sworn statement. But does it mean that letter of protest does not have any legal standing? 100% it has a legal standing. The details of the letter of protest are entered in the official logbook also. If he has refused to sign, a new official logbook entry with the same date, but a new number, serial number will be put that based on the above official logbook entry number so and so, dated so and so, the letter of protest, the same was not received and acknowledged by the named party, and therefore a new letter of protest was made to that effect. A separate logbook entry has to be made. You are a happy master, happy mate. Note of protest, there is no provision for the signature of the recipient. कोई यार यही नहीं पता कि क्या है, whomsoever है concern, तो किसका साइन लगे? There is a provision for the signature of the recipient. Generally should be made within 24 hours vessel at the next port after the event has occurred. It should be made as soon as possible after the event has occurred. 8 points of difference. Any questions, guys?
Yes, sir. So suppose we had faced a heavy weather at sea and we know that cargo might have been damaged, but no damage to the ship. So can we, instead of filing this NOP, can we not just say that as per Hague-Wisby, we have the immunity, know that this is a peril of the sea and therefore not pay for any cargo damage?
Correct. That can only be said by the carrier, that is the ship owner, not the master. You are representing, but you are not the carrier. The carrier, that is the ship owner, is not on the ship. He is going to rely on his representative, that is the master. Yes, I am not liable to pay for this damage because it is peril of the sea. Okay, Mr. Carrier, how do you prove that this damage was resulted as a peril of the sea? Note of protest. My master has already filed it. It is in a series continuation, forward, backward.
Okay, sir. So both are related. Understood,
Absolutely. But this is the start point कि कल को अंडर एक बीस रूल मेरे खिलाफ, कैरियर के खिलाफ डैमेज क्लेम आएगा, I have the protection. I don't have to pay anything. I have the immunity that I don't have to pay for the damage if the damage has been caused by peril of the sea, over which I have no control. But how do I prove that there was a peril of the sea? That proof is the note of protest. It is a proactive approach. कोई claim नहीं आया 3 साल बाद, बात खत्म.
Yes, sir. So one more question, sir. So when is a ship considered to be arrived?
When is the ship considered to be arrived? When the notice of readiness has been given. And not given, given and the specific time when it has been acknowledged by the receiver of NOR, the ship is said to have been arrived. Notice of readiness given at 1100 hours Zulu. But the receipt of the NOR comes at 1400 hours Zulu. The ship is said to have arrived at 1400 hours Zulu.
But sir, what we have noticed is when we arrive at a port, we tender the NOR. We keep tendering the NOR as per what we have been told by our operator. But NOR is only accepted when we reach the terminal after the safety meeting, that pre-briefing. Then only they sign that accepted at this time.
Correct. उसका कारण ये होता है कि if between the arrival at the roadstead, that is anchorage, and the final all fast 4.5 finish with engine, if there is a time delay, pilot delayed, you have got 1 day anchorage. Now अगर notice of readiness आपने anchorage पे दे दिया, उन्होंने receive कर लिया, मान लीजिए, तो lay time will start counting from then. 2 दिन आप एंकर में, वो lay time काउंट हो रहा है, तो चार्टर तो माथा पकड़ के बैठ जाएगा कि यार ये 2 दिन का तो मुझे डेमरेज देना पड़ जाएगा पर आवर बेसिस पे. आप पहुंच गए हैं एंकरेज पे, आपको एंकर मिला है, आपने नोटिस ऑफ रेडीनेस दे दिया, विच इज एन इंडिकेशन फर्स्ट है, हाँ भाई अब पहुंच गए, नॉट येट अराइव. द एंकरेज इज एक्सपेक्टेड 1 day. ओके कैप्टन, बिफोर पिकिंग अप द एंकर गिव अ सेकंड एनओआर. या पता चला वो एक की जगह वो और 2 घंटे और डिले हो गया, again give an NOR. So they keep asking till the time they are 100% sure cargo work can start, so I can start counting the lay time now. I will receive the NOR. The ship is arrived. अगर आपका pilot on arrival है, you are not even dropping an anchor, you just slow down, pick up the pilot, you will give the NOR when the ship is all fast 4.5. We are ready to start the cargo work. Set the NOR, he will receive it. There is no re-tendering of NOR.
Okay, sir.